Welcome to Analyzing Words and Phrases. Today's goal is I can analyze the effects of sound devices, such as alliteration, assonance, and consonance in poetry. Alliteration review. Alliteration is the use of the same beginning consonant sound in a line or verse. For example, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. All right, so this part is pretty straightforward and usually the one that people pick up on the most. When we look at To the River by Edgar Allan Poe, fair river, in thy bright, clear flow of crystal wandering water, thou art an emblem of the glow of beauty, the unhidden heart, the playful maziness of art in old Alberto's daughter. But when within thy wave she looks, which glistens then and trembles, why then the prettiest of brooks her worshipper resembles. For in my heart, as in thy stream, her image deeply lies, the heart which trembles at the beam of her soul-searching eyes. I've already highlighted the W's that we can see within here showing alliteration in Edgar Allan Poe's poem. Assonance. This one is one of the trickiest ones for people to identify because it's a repetition of the rhyming vowel sound inside the poem, such as twinkling twilight meets twice at the edge of night. It has the long I sound. If we look at El Dorado by Edgar Allan Poe, we can see specifically in the second stanza that he has used quite a bit of the O sound, but he grew old this night so bold, and over his heart a shadow fell as he found no spot of ground that looked like El Dorado. You'll notice that there are other O's in there, but I did not highlight or bold them. Found is the wrong kind of O sound. Spot and ground again. So even though found and ground rhyme, they're not part of the assonance. Consonance is something that's a little bit easier to find, but can sometimes be confused with rhyming. Consonance does not rhyme. It is just about the end syllables or the end part of the word, such as the final sounds of stroke and luck. Luck, stroke. In Emily Dickinson's poem, "'Twas Later When the Summer Went," we see that came, the A there makes it so that it does not rhyme with home. So these are not rhyming words, but they are having the same ending, just like when we have came and time. Again, because of the vowel sounds, these are not rhyming words and therefore fit perfectly into consonants. Now go through and find your own examples of assonance in C.S. Lewis' poem, The Narnian Suite. Notice that lines 1 through 4 each have an example of assonance. They will not be the same necessarily. I'll read it quick for you. Pause afterwards to give yourself more time to find them. With plucking pizzicato and the prattle of the kettle drum, we're trotting into battle mid a clatter of accoutrement. Our beards are big as periwigs and trickle with opanax, and trickery and treasure twinkle out of every part of us. Scrape, tap, the fiddle and the kettle drum. In the second stanza of the poem, please focus in on line 7 for examples of consonants. Note that there are 2 examples here for you to find. The chuckle-headed humans think we're only pretty puppetry, and all our battle tackle nothing more than pretty bric-a-brac. But a little shrub has prickles, and they'll soon be in a pickle if a scud of dwarfish archery has crippled all their cavalry. Whiz, twang, the quarrel and the javelin. Finally, let's find some alliteration in lines 11 through 13. Each line has its own, some with more than one. Determine which lines have the strongest alliteration. And when the tussle thickens, we can writhe and wriggle under it. Then dagger point'll tickle 'em and grab and gripple grabble 'em. And trap and trickle trouble 'em and tackle 'em and topple 'em. Till they're huddled, all be diddled in the middle of our caperines. Dodge, jump, the wiggle and the somersault. Finally, in the last stanza, we see alliteration in lines 16 and 17. See which you can find. When we've scattered 'em and peppered 'em with pebbles from our catapults, we'll turn again in triumph and by crannies and by crevices, go back to where the capital and cradle of our people is, our forges and our furnaces, the caverns of the earth. Gold, fire, the anvil and the smithying. Finally, please answer these analyzing questions. The alliteration in grab and gripple grabble-em most strongly suggests the idea of, number 2, how does consonants add to the poem? Which line demonstrates the strongest alliteration? Finally, the assonance in the trinket tree and treasure twinkle out of every part of us most strongly suggests the idea of what? All right, let's go through and check your answers. Please pause as you need to so that you can get the most out of your work. Hopefully you were able to find both examples of consonants on line 7. If not, now would be a great chance to come talk to me as soon as you are done with your correcting. Were you able to find all the alliteration types? Please notice that some alliterations are stronger than others. When we talk about this, such as tussle thickens, just like Taco Tuesday sounds better than Taco Thursday, you'll notice that tussle starts with a T, but thickens has the TH sound to it. The other ones, when we see things like writhe or wriggle, they both have the WR sound, making for a stronger alliteration than something like tussle and thicken, which again, we just have the T versus the TH. When they start with both, they would be considered stronger. Here we can see further alliteration practices. Bonuses for anyone who also picked out capital and cradle. Even though it's not a strong alliteration, it would still count in line 18. Finally, we come to our analysis questions. Please go through and correct, marking anything you get wrong so you can ask me questions during class. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully you can now analyze the effects of sound devices, alliteration, assonance, and consonants in poetry.